Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's part 43 today and we are back with Bristol City. And my word, it's been a pretty good start. I'm already in love with this club. It's been virtually as good as possible. Despite a few results just tailing off recently, we're in pretty good nick. However, today we face two of the top four in West Brom, who are currently second and 10 points clear of third, and Leeds away, who are in fourth place and a former Premier League side. We're also starting to have a few injury troubles and some hilarious ones based on the comments from Bristol City fans in recent episodes. So if you're looking forward to all of it, seeing how we're getting on, and what might be next for us with the January transfer window just round the corner, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from two long-term stories. I hope you enjoyed the Boxing Day special from Hemel Hempstead yesterday, and I hope you enjoyed the festive break. Of course, we had Cricket 22 on Christmas Day and earlier this morning, and there'll be a couple more of that one to come as the test edges closer to a finish. There's also links up there to the Twitch channel, Bank Holiday special earlier today and tomorrow morning too. And the football podcast is up there as well with championship predictions coming thick and fast. But let's crack on with Bristol City because we're out of the transfer window. We just had to get there in style. And in KALANTARI, we have got one of the best players in the championship. We said it as soon as we joined. We knew it was the case. And we've not been dissuaded since. Let's have a look at the schedule. A perfect November. You saw the first two games on camera. We continued in that vein. And we've still actually only lost one game, which was at home to third place Middlesbrough. One of the two draws are home to second place West Brom, our first opponents today. Bit weird we're playing them twice in 4 games, but you know, we're not going to worry about that. And then the only disappointment really was Blackpool, who are just outside the relegation zone. But January coming just around the corner, hopefully our new director of football, Jez George, can get us a little bit of quality in the squad. We have got a couple of staff to meet too. But let's have a look at those results off camera. We got Sutton in the third round of the FA Cup to come, lower league opposition there. But we started against Derby, our live stream series on Twitch. They're our club. They're not quite as strong here. Arian Kalantari got a hat-trick after an early lead was taken by the visitors. A 4-0 victory followed at home to Sheffield United. Max Thompson, Lys Mousset against his former club, Kalantari again and John Lestrange off the bench. Just trying to slowly bed him in ahead of becoming first choice next season. Cardiff away at the end of November, very different victory. We actually got outclassed in this game. Dominated on the stats, but Griffiths, Darboe, Muller defensively brilliant. And Kalantari, individual magic up front again. A good 1-1 draw against West Brom. They got a penalty and a late red card. It was Lee Buchanan, another player featuring in our Derby Twitch stream series. But Lys Mousset scored another crucial goal. A big 1-0 win against relegation favourites Forest Green. That man again with the moment of magic at the end. A 2-4 defeat at home to Middlesbrough. Mousset and Thompson scored there. Joe Williams made, I think, his only start under us so far. But 4 good goals for Middlesbrough and a late red card. They were dominant throughout, it's got to be said. They rushed into a 3-goal lead and we were never coming back from that. A 1-1 draw at home to Blackpool last time out, back from an early goal against. Max Thompson, another that keeps picking up little knocks, but not really any that cause him to miss games. So we're in very good shape. We're up to 16th in the league and I think there's no threat of us going down this season. We're now 10 points clear of the relegation zone. We're right in the middle. We're 10 points off the playoffs, 10 points from relegation. We're a mid-table club, and that is all we could have asked for this year. Maybe we can now prioritise a little FA Cup run, something that might make some money, make some memories. We'll wait and see. Of course, if we continue this good form, we might have to readdress that playoff situation. But a long way to go. We're at the halfway point. And there's some funny news on the injury front because I saw this comment just before I was recording the episode about Joe Williams. He came back from injury, he got a 1 to 2 day knock, he played a game and then he got a 4-week injury. So the 200 odd games and the injury front, everything was right because it's just happened straight away. 2 sub appearances, 1 start and he's out for another month. I'm not sure if he's not even listed as injury prone. That's the frustrating thing here. But he has been constantly unfit since we joined the club. And of course, we do know that these little muscle injuries, which he keeps getting, are going to be, after a long-term injury, quite prominent. We've seen that in many injuries in the past. But if it continues on past the halfway point of the season, we've got to start to question whether he's going to be a long-term solution. But he's a great leader in the dressing room. He's a fabulous player. I'm not going to judge him just yet. The issue today is we've got 2 players down with flu. Kajar would be our starting anchor man, as you know. Rakic is one of our big centre-half options, and Greenwood one of the wingers as well. So there's a little bit of a concern on that front. What we're going to do, though, is crack on with our 2 games, because we've got the players on side. Yes, the club atmosphere is average, but the managerial support's great. There's a couple of players that ideally we would like to see go in January. Salvador is transfer listed. He was when we joined. Loads of clubs after him from his native Spain and from the MLS. Ismael Gutierrez, I wouldn't mind keeping, but he was transfer listed. And again, there's clubs from the US and Spain after him. And a couple of the other backups. What I didn't realise was Ilic is one of the highest earners at the club, and he's now wanted by Huesca. Now, if they come in and bid, say, 2 million quid for him with a year and a bit on his contract, in fact, it's only 6 months. If they come in with a tiny bid for him that gets him out of the club, we could probably spend the money better elsewhere. So we're relying on Jez George for that. But Jez George has got a little bit of help now. He's not going to have to do it all on his own. Because yes, he's going to be in charge of the player transfers, the contracts and all of that stuff. But he's not going to be in charge of hiring and firing most of the staff, because we are now at the level in the Championship in England where technical directors have become a thing. So Danny Cox is the man who's joined us, aptly named, has joined the club just a few weeks ago. He's pretty good. Another very good personality, decent reputation, Continental Pro licence, and has all the right attributes in all the right places. So it looks like we've got a decent man looking after the players and a very good one looking after the staff. A few others have come in on the sort of physiotherapy and scouting side. Not seen too much on the coaching front yet. Only one addition, there's still plenty of spaces. But the one who's come in is absolutely brilliant. And that has given me a lot of optimism for the future. That man is Daryl Flahaven, former Palace Southend keeper among many others in the past. Look at his attributes as a goalkeeping coach. And again, the personality's great. And that's what we're looking at moving forward. And the technical director and the director of football seem to be right on board with it. So positive signs on and off the pitch, but 2 very tough games today. And this is going to give us a bit more of a gauge of where we are. We mentioned a quite fortunate run of fixtures when we joined. Fair play, the lads have taken advantage. We've seen some star performances and we've clearly set the lads up well. But this is where we find out how good we are. If we don't get victories in these, we know that mid-table's the limit. And I would expect that at this stage of the season. Let's go and have a look at a tactical meeting though. We will, between the 2 games, have a very quick look at Dover and Sheffield Wednesday. Let's get the opposition instructions on. Let's pick our team. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, one surprise in the lineup, and it is sort of enforced. We've got every single fit outfield player in the squad. And Salvador, the man who may well be leaving the club, well, we might as well use his fitness while he's still here. He's going to play in the anchorman role with both Rakic and Kier out. Venegas was the other option, but he's a yellow from suspension, and we will need him at fullback for one of those 2 games over Christmas. So our 11 for today as a result of that. Not worrying about the heavy match load. We know that we've got a week off after this. It's Griffiths in goal. Darbo and Bryan the fullbacks, with Atkinson and Muller forming a good partnership at centre-half. Salvador the surprise in the holding role. Amos and Shalabar in centre mid. Shalabar just back from injury, not quite getting back to his best yet. But Williams is obviously out again, so we've not got that option there. Then Mousse, Thompson and Kalantari, the trusty front 3. The goal's just starting to dry up a tad, but John Lestrange, they're on the bench if we need him. Let's go and get into the first game, West Brom away from home. We gave him a decent game at home. We got a 1-1 draw. I'd certainly take the same away at the Hawthorns. Let's see if we can do it. And as you briefly saw on that other screen, Salvador is the only change to the team against Blackpool. And it's a pretty good West Brom team, actually. Lee Buchanan's back in, got sent off against us last time. Alex Mowatt's still there and is now skipper. Callum Morton, the hero from our Derby head coach stint in FM21. He's there and doing well up front. João Carvalho's about. Whittaker on the bench, the likes of Callum Robinson and David Kasumu too. There are good footballers across this team. Brendan Rodgers in charge in the Championship. Let's go and get into the first half, try and hit them on the counter, and hope we can find our form in front of goal again. As it's an early throw for West Brom, I will say, for all of the brilliance so far and all of the overperformance and overachievement, we have conceded a few early goals in games. Sometimes we've recovered, but against Middlesbrough we got blown away and we're playing a good side again up near the top as Muller chips the ball downfield. Kalantari, for all his attributes, is not going to win many in the air. Falls for Haggerty, through to Morton. We know the quality he's got. And that's a great save down to his right from Griffiths. Been a really solid keeper so far. And I've not seen many individual errors. One half error against Middlesbrough, but generally been really top notch. As Mousse heads the corner away, we know height's a problem as it's back to Appleton. Turns to the edge to Mowat. He goes for the shot, does he? No, crosses to Carvalho. Muller heads away to Darboe. Can he release his man on the counter? He can't. That's the highlight over. 0-0, but a pretty poor start for us. And here we go again with West Brom down the right. Carvalho released from the throw-in. It's not the best way to concede a chance that. Into the box, back to Saranic. Appleton, good block by Atkinson. Down on the floor, good block with his right leg. Buchanan back to Mowat. He's forced back to halfway. Just want to hit him on the counter and nick a goal here. Appleton forces it wide though. We know Buchanan's good from here. Up to the back post to Saranic. And he heads over the bar. 12 minutes gone. It's all West Brom. We're clinging on at the minute, but we just need a counter. We've done it against Cardiff and a couple of others. If we can nick a goal on the break, a 1-0 win is not out the question. Well, it has calmed down, and as we reach half-time, we've actually levelled up on the shot count. In fact, gone slightly ahead for the shots overall. Got a better expected goals, but no great chances. So let's get the lads motivated into the second half. And all we can ask against these top sides is to still be in the game. Because if we then do get 2 or 3 additions over the next year, if by miracle we can keep Kalantari or Lestrange can improve massively, we've got one hell of a promotion pushing team next year. And I get to prove it was the right decision. As Buchanan goes back to Holmes. He plays into Mowat. Of course, it can go the other way very quickly as Hegarty's in. Great sweeping from Griffiths. Does really well. Rolls it out to Atkinson to get going on the counter. He goes wide to Joe Bryan. Going to have to watch his fitness over the festive period. Gives it to Shalabar, to Thompson. Often picks up second half knocks, so we'll keep our eye on him as well. Loses it to Saranic this time. Appleton up to Stevens. Good counter from West Brom. They look very quick down the flanks, and they are causing us some trouble as Mowat out to Morton. Playing off the left today. Goes back to the skipper again. Appleton. Look, a really good football inside. It's into Callum Morton. And that's just over the crossbar. Wonderful move from West Brom. But we're surviving. A draw's not a bad result. We said it from the start. Darboe plays it up to Mousse. Can we nick one? Not like that. It's a poor pass, Mousse. Morton releases Haggerty. Might cost us the goal. Not with Atkinson at the back. The skipper's in form. And he rolls it out again, the keeper, to Atkinson. Goes wide left to Thompson. Got 2 over the top. Kalantari's one. He doesn't often take many chances. But that one is absolutely awful. Rounds the keeper and then just passes it miles wide of the post. Not seen that for a long time. Some concerns there from the form of Kalantari. We're going to make our first sub. Mousse struggling a bit. So I'm going to bring Lestrange on. He's got the poorest rating, Mousse. And he's been a little bit poorer physically too. Thompson is not far behind, but Greenwood isn't fit. Might have to play him against Leeds as Carvalho puts a free kick in. Atkinson heads away to Amos. Can we counter? Up to Kalantari. Still going up top. Second chance of the game. Oh, he doesn't make a mistake this time. Lovely little dink over the keeper. And to be fair, that's his worst rate of the season. For every 2 chances you give him, you know he's going to score one. Gotta say, Salvador's done a really solid job back there in the holding role. Brian's on a yellow, so I'm going to bring Vokins on for him. And we'll just give it 5 more minutes. I don't want to risk people getting injured and then leaving us with 10 near the end. So for now, I'm going to stick with the 2 subs and we'll make a later one than normal. Carvalho's got a corner kick for West Brom. Oh, off the line and it's in the second time. Morgan Whittaker with the header. And to be fair, on the balance of play, this is a fair result. And this month, it's been our most common result. I'd certainly have taken it at the start. We've just got to make sure we hold on to it now. What I've got to decide with Max Thompson coming off is, do I want to bring on the youngster Jez Porter, who hasn't featured under me yet, largely due to injury, or do we want to bring on Luka Ilic, who's a left footer, naturally plays on the wing. I think that gives us a little bit more balance, so I'm going to put him on there, and we're going to stick with that, because with 5 minutes to go, I want to be able to drop them back if we do go 2-1 up. 4 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Muller's got it at the back. Again, been a really good game of football to watch as it goes all the way to Holmes and Appleton. Dropped into that holding role, finds Mowat. Long ball from Kasumu out to Robinson, who did set up that first goal from the set piece. Down to the byline, into the back post. Whittaker up again. It's straight at Griffiths. And these lads, I just feel they need a nudge of encouragement now. So Griffiths going to roll out from the back and we're going to give the lads a kick up the backside. So you want to go long? He does. Fair play to him. He's gone against the tactic at times and taken things into his hands. And that's the common sense element we haven't always seen from our teams this year. Though that's a brilliant ball. It's going to cost us now, isn't it? Morgan Whittaker puts it in for 2-1. Oh, I knew I was going to be kiboshing myself there. Never talk about how brilliant your keeper is, ignoring your instructions, then it costs you a goal. We've gone attacking for stoppage time, but it's going to be a 2-1 defeat. And that's what the top sides do. They're ruthless. They're quality. And Whittaker has come off the bench and torn us apart. So that's where John Lestranger's got to get to. That's where the likes of Illich have got to be. And maybe that's the area we need subs. But another goal for Kalantari, another good performance. Now we go to Leeds, who are apparently not too bad themselves. Well, back for the second game, the Boxing Day fixture against Leeds United, who have dropped to 7th after defeat of the last weekend's fixtures too. But there's a lot of transfer news. It might not yet be our transfer window, but it is in the MLS, and we have had 9 bids across 5 different clubs for Salvador. All of them have been rejected for not meeting evaluation, up to about 125 grand. So Jez George rejected all of them. However, he did accept this. Ismael Gutierrez, 950 grand. So basically, there was $500,000 offered for him. It was rejected by Jez George. Gutierrez came to me and complained, and I did the classic, it didn't meet your valuation, so we agreed 950 grand, and Jez George accepted it. We'll wait and see what happens with Salvador. There was also some news relating to Niall John, another centre midfielder. He came here saying he's struggling being out the team, he wants to go out on loan. And I was just bullish and honest. I said, I'd rather you go out permanently. I think it works for everyone. He appreciated the honesty, and he's probably going to be off now. So you can see there's a couple of clubs wanting him, but he's 5'4". He's not great technically. He doesn't meet the midfielder I want. If those 3 all leave, in fact, and we get one great midfielder in, I think it's job done. So we'll wait and see if that can occur or not. I'm taking a gamble on Jez George being good. I did promise you a very quick look at Sheffield Wednesday and Dover. Sheffield Wednesday have actually improved since we left. They're now top by 4 points on 50. Our last game, I think, was Burton, wasn't it? They did lose 4 of the next 5, including a Papa John's Trophy game, but that was sort of under caretaker management. The new permanent one, they've let in 1 goal in the last 7 games, which was the last game, and they've won them all. They've been fantastic. That man who's in charge now is Stephen Bradley. He has come from Shamrock Rovers, and he seems to be a very good pick. So he's carrying on the work we've done. Still got Josh Render in goal, but I'm sure that will change in a couple of weeks' time. A quick look at Dover, who of course are in League 2 now. They were struggling in the bottom 2. They've now got themselves out, but look at that division. 10 points separates, in fact 11 points separates 24th and 5th after half the season. That's ridiculous. But Dover, as it stands, just keeping their heads above the water despite letting a few players go. Dan Cowan, the latest to go out. So Dover Athletic looking forward to a second half of the season. Sheffield Wednesday looking certain for promotion. And as it stands, we're probably going to be playing them again next year. So nice to see them doing well. Let's go and face Leeds. We've got another game in 2 days' time. Arguably a more winnable one at home to mid-table Barnsley. So I've got some dilemmas. Let's see what I pick. Well, for the large part, screw rotation is the honest approach to this. I have made a couple of changes. Kiar comes back in a holding role. That's just because it's the away game. He's the better defensive mind. Vokin's in at left back because Brian can't do both, and I'd rather him play in the home game. He's better going forward. And then Lestrange in on the right for Mousse, who tends to struggle a bit more physically. So those 2 today, then Greenwood and Mousse the next game. I think that balances us pretty well. So the 11 for today just sees the 3 changes, I believe. Let's go and confirm that now. It is Kiar back from illness, Vokins and Lestrange in, and the other 2 lads drop to the bench. Gutierrez there as well. Might be his last couple of appearances. Well, it's a Leeds side featuring Ricky Peake in a holding role, Angelino at left wing back, Holgate at centre half, Soriano in goal, and Keane Lewis Potter, who always seems to become an FM star. The likes of Gelhart and Woodburn on the bench, former young stars in FM. Let's see how they all get on. We're going to ask the lads to prove a point. We're going to try our best, and if we play similar to the West Brom game and maybe can then nick a point, it's still a good one. But regardless, just want to show we can compete with these top sides really. As Shalabar gives it to Kiar, up to Amos, through ball to Kalantari. He scored 1 last game, and he scored 1 this game. He loves the little dinked finish, doesn't he? Amos produces the assist again. Not even 45 seconds on the clock when that went in. And it is Leeds 0, Bristol City 1. Well, back right down by the Leeds corner flag, which is interesting. Just 11 minutes on the clock. Long ball down the right from the home side, and it finds Pavlidis on the right. He's got support. Has to go back for it, though. Lewis Potter into Sonora. Through ball towards Salai. It's poor defending Muller. It's a rare mistake at the back. 1-1, Bristol City peg back. And Leeds at Ellen Road in a half-empty stadium, weirdly. were always going to be a difficult test. And we're just over 10 to the break. We're back with Chalobah in possession. He gets it back to Atkinson. Can bring it into midfield. Is very comfortable on the ball and he's going on a mazy run. Who can he release? He goes to Lestrange, who's out on the right. Been a peripheral figure so far. Gets to the byline though. Delivers for Chalobah. And he nearly returned the favour there. Wonderful ball into the man who started the move. But it's still 1-1. 10 to the break. Been a very good performance against the top side again. And at half time, it remains 1-1. It remains a pretty good performance. And as long as we show signs that we can compete with the best this year, I'm confident for next season. Of course, January could change that if Jess George doesn't do much. But I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic that he'll make the right moves. An hour on the clock. Thompson is really struggling. Greenwood will make his comeback from injury after this highlight. You know my superstition. Lewis Potter, wide to the right-hand side. Inside to Sonora. Back out again. Thompson slides in. That's risky. Back to Kakare at the edge of the box. Ricky into Salah. It's a wonderful ball. But it just hits the post. It's cleared away by Vokins. In fact, no. Back to his keeper. That's a risky manoeuvre. But it will eventually be cleared. Thompson replaced by Greenwood returning to fitness. That's another positive sign. We're starting to get players back. Rakic is another one of those. Kiar not going to last the 90 after returning just this week to training. Chalobah again not been the best in the middle. But in fact, I'm going to take off Amos for Gutierrez. Just try and rest a few in there. We might make a change to the roles in a minute, as we've got 20 left. Soriano is taking the goal kick, so I'm going to have to wait. Because again, you know my superstition, making changes tactically when there's a highlight in progress. Josh Griffiths picks the ball up in goal. Wide to the left back Vokins, who's had a very good game coming in today. Back to Greenwood. Into midfield, Chalobah to Rakic. Back to Atkinson. Might go direct here and does. Greenwood's up. Can release his man. It's a great run from Kalantari. And it is the usual brilliant finish. I nearly had to stop the fist pump there because it was just dribbling across the line. But eventually it goes in. Gutierrez will switch to a central midfielder. Chalobah will go box to box. And with 20 minutes to go, we're hoping to hold on. Because this would be a lovely turn up for the books. Well, 10 to go. Gutierrez now on corner duty. Puts it into Atkinson. Almost finished with an assist just over the bar. But it doesn't matter what Atkinson does at this end. He's got to hold us strong at the other one now. We might have to go back to the time wasting in a minute. As Lewis Potter releases his man downfield. Atkinson there again. Sublime defending. Griffiths clears long. Lestrange is up. Knocks down for Kalantari. Rakic to Chalobah. Kalantari in on a hat-trick. Blazes over the bar. He doesn't miss many, does he? But that one was pretty wayward. Soriano straight away with a kick downfield. Rakic heads away. Centre half in the holding role. And that's why it works so well. Muller into Kalantari, who dropped deep. Plays a 1-2 with Chalobah. Releases Lestrange. Might have been offside. It's not given, though. And that is an absolutely beautiful counter. We're so strong through the middle. We've got striking options everywhere. And John Lestrange, I tell you what, he's going to be ready next year. Looks a pro. Greenwood, 30 yards out. Free kick just over. But we're in celebratory mood. I would have taken 2 draws. We've got a win and a defeat. So we're 1 point better off. And it looks like we finished the episode where we started it. 10 points above the relegation zone. 10 points behind the playoffs. Mid-table, almost certain now. Well, another man of the match performance, and I was going to say, let's have a look at when we're going to be back, but it's obvious. Transfer deadline day, Jez George. I think it's the 1st of February because it's the weekend on the 31st. And then we'll probably show Forest at home. We're at Ipswich and Forest respectively. Yeah, definitely Forest at home. Transfer deadline day next time out. The new director of football's first chance to impress us. Hopefully he'll be better than Chris Casper. In the meantime, Kalantari will hopefully produce some more man of the match displays. And we'll keep climbing up the league because a solid season and showing we can compete is all I'm really hoping for at the moment. Let me know in the comments what you think of our progress though. A few defeats just starting to come in, but we look a very solid side. And I'm pretty happy we've made the right move if I'm being perfectly honest. If you did enjoy the episode, please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content. There's links in the eye above to all the other playlists, the Twitch channel and to the football podcast too. But a massive thank you for your support. I hope you've enjoyed the festive season. And we'll be back in 2 days' time for transfer deadline day at a new club with a new director of football.